as I was recording my video that I was about to upload, some breaking news came out. According to Aaron Wilson, he tweeted out not too long ago that the Las Vegas Raiders are trading away Tyree Gillespie to the Tennessee Titans per a league source. Now, this is the second player I believe that this new regime has traded away that was part of John Gruden's era of draft picks and whatnot. And you could definitely tell that Josh McDaniels and Dave Z are trying to get rid of some players that, you know, they didn't really draft and wasn't part of their scheme or part of their process and whatnot. So we don't know what the Raiders got in return for Tyree Gillespie. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a late round pick. He definitely was a guy that I was expecting could be a top tier safety for this defense. Obviously, we have a whole new team, a whole new set of coaches. So with that said, I wish nothing but the best for safety Tyree Gillespie and his future endeavors over there in Tennessee. With that said, Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on this recent trade by our Las Vegas Raiders? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. So today, we already know that the Raiders had to cut the roster down from 90 players to 85. So that means 5 players had to get cut from the team today. And even though we had to wait a very, very long time to find out who those 5 players were, you know, I don't know who in the Raiders organization is lacking over there, but we finally got to find out each and every player that was cut from the team today. The first name being cornerback Nate Brooks. Now, I'm not gonna lie with y'all, when I first seen the name Nate, almost had me thinking Nate Hobbs, and I was sitting here like, ain't no way, man. But you already know that Nate Hobbs' job here is secured, man. He's definitely gonna make the final 53. But as for Nate Brooks, he gets cut in less than a week from signing with the team, which makes sense to why the Raiders ended up cutting him. It's just an easier option. Brooks made his debut with the team this past game against the Vikings. He had a lot of reps out there and came away with 2 tackles. Now, we just recently found out about a couple more names. First, wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. This is a bit of surprising news for me. You know, Robinson recently just signed with the team not too long ago. In the offseason, I thought we would see a little bit more of him because we didn't really see too much of him in preseason, but I guess the team seen enough to say that this is not going to be one of the guys to make the roster, and they just let him go. Just in this last game, he had a huge play that had me going, man, it just sucks to see him go like this, but hey, that just shows you how deep this wide receiver room is, man. We got guys other than, you know, Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. We got guys out here that are fighting for a spot on the roster like Mac Hollins. We still got Keelan Cole out there, and then you look at a guy like Tyron Johnson that has a lot of potential, and DJ Turner, a guy that slowly is making his name and possibly moving up the depth chart. So those are 2 guys that I feel like could be taking one of these guys' spots. You know, both Tyron Johnson and DJ Turner. I know they fighting for that spot, but we'll see how the final 53 will look in a couple of weeks. Another guy that's getting his bags packed right now is defensive lineman Vernon Butler, another veteran player that we brought in this past offseason to possibly help this team, especially on the defensive line. It is a bit surprising to me, especially right now, knowing how much depth we lack at the defensive tackle position. But again, it just goes to show you guys that this guy did not make that much of an impact in these preseason games to at least fight for a spot on the team. But Butler wasn't the only defensive lineman that got cut from the team, because defensive lineman Jerry Green was another name added as well. He was another guy getting a little bit of hype in training camp, but I guess that hype wasn't enough to stay on the team. And the last player that was cut from the team today was tackle Tyron Wheatley Jr. Who? Now, with the Raiders already cutting 2 players on the defensive line, I know a lot of Raider fans out there are going to be asking, yo, are the Raiders going to go out and bring somebody in like a Demarcus, or maybe go bring in Darius Philon, or possibly Sheldon Richardson? I don't know. I feel like if the Raiders do want to bring somebody in to help this defensive line out, I feel like they're going to wait until all of the teams make most of their cuts, and they're going to find a player here to give a chance to play in the silver and black this season. But I would love to bring on one of these guys that I just named, you know, Demarcus, Darius Philon, Sheldon Richardson. I know that we've seen a couple of solid performances, one from Kyle Peckel this past game, and then Andrew Billings has been okay for the most part. It's just going to be interesting to see what the Raiders are going to do moving forward and what players they're going to bring in for these next couple of preseason games. So with that being said, Raider Nation, with the first 5 cuts already out of the way, who is a player that got cut today that surprised you, and who's a player that you feel like is going to be on the chopping block these next couple of weeks? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. So the NFL released the first 50 players of the top 100, and let's just say that the Raiders got a little bit of love. We actually have 4 players on the list so far. Those guys being quarterback Derek Carr at number 65, Chandler Jones at number 62, Max Crosby at number 59, and Darren Waller at number 58. Now it is pretty crazy to see Darren Waller on this list, especially knowing that last year wasn't his best season and he dealt with a lot of injuries, missing 6 games. But I guess according to a lot of people, he's still one of the top tight ends in the league, and I believe he is as well. Now as for Max Crosby, it's kind of crazy to see him this low in the top 100, especially coming off of a season that he had last year, a Pro Bowl caliber season. You're basically telling me that getting 56 total tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 30 quarterback hits, 7 pass deflections, and 8 sacks ain't good enough to get you in the top 50? Come on, Noose. I honestly feel that he could have at least been in the top 50, but hey, that's probably just me. Also, it's really good to see, newly signed veteran edge rusher Chandler Jones is on the top 100 as a Raider, I guess, but I really don't count it because most of that production was with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm just hoping going into this season, he could find himself a little bit higher on the list because he's going to have a much better season here in Las Vegas. But it is good to see our quarterback, Derek Carr, finally getting back onto the top 100 list after missing it for the past 3 seasons. He did start off last season really hot and was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I know we dealt with a lot of shit, and it was a rocky road getting to the playoffs, but we got there with Derek Carr's leadership. I know he didn't put up all the big numbers throughout the end of the season, but at the end of the day, with his leadership and how he handled this team, handled every single situation, I felt like he deserves a spot on the top 100, and it's good to see him here at number 65. Now, I don't know when the NFL is going to announce their top 50 players, because they do have 50 more players to announce for the 2021 season, and there's 2 Raider players that have not been named yet that should be in the top 100. Those guys being running back Josh Jacobs and wide receiver Hunter Renfrow. Now, first, Josh Jacobs, I doubt that he's going to be in the top 50, but he's a guy that definitely deserves to be in the top 100 at least. You look at a guy like David Montgomery, who was number 98, 99, I forgot what number it was, but he got placed into the top 100, and you look at Josh Jacobs' stats from last season, he beats him in every single category. Yeah, Josh Jacobs did not have 1,000 yards rushing, but when you compare the two, it's crazy. Josh Jacobs last year had 217 carries for 872 yards, 9 touchdowns, and had 54 receptions for 348 yards. Then you look at David Montgomery's year, having 225 carries for 849 yards, 7 touchdowns, and had only 42 receptions for 301 yards. I mean, come on, man. And Josh Jacobs missed a couple of games last year as well. So there's no reason why he should not be on the top 100, and he's one of the main reasons that the Raiders even made the playoffs last year with how hard he was running at the end of the season, getting into the playoffs. And Hunter Renfrow, on the other hand, definitely deserves to be in the top 50. He had a Pro Bowl caliber season last year, having 103 receptions for 1,038 yards and a total of 9 touchdowns. He was a key piece for this Raiders offense going into the playoffs, and he's one of the deadliest slot receivers in the NFL. So whoever's running this list, just don't fuck it up, man. Now, I know that this list does not mean too much to a lot of people out there, but it's always crazy to see the list and see which players got snubbed and whatnot. I just know for a fact that next year, there's going to be a whole lot of Raiders on that list because they all finna ball out this season, and you could definitely add Davante Adams to that list, or I'm pretty sure that Davante Adams is going to be considered a Raider on the top 100, so that's another guy that could be on the top 100 this year, but that was mostly because he played for the Packers. But just to see that the Raiders already have 4 players on the top 100 means that this team is moving in the right direction. With that being said, Raider Nation, how are you guys feeling about the top 100 so far? Is there any other Raiders that are missing other than the ones I've named off? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Alright, Raider Nation, that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if this is the very first time you're coming across my channel and you love the Las Vegas Raiders, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. Also, I will be putting the links to all the upcoming Raider events coming soon down in the pinned comment below. So if you guys are interested in any of those, then hit those links. With that being said, until the next video, this is your boy, some more Raider, and your boy is Started off in Oakland, now we here. Thought that we was done, we just hit another gear. Look, started off in Oakland, now we here. Hey, pull up with the nation in the silver black gear. Look, 4 games straight, we in the play.